Yeah, trendsetter. Whoa, league of my own, it don't get better. No, read what I wrote, I'm a bestseller. Yeah, reach for my goals, hit it dead center. Hit it dead center. Bullseye, hit it the most, there's no misses. Something like fish in a barrel, it's no dip.
Boom! We're back, baby. Wednesday night. I have no idea what episode it is. I don't even know what season we're on because Pete doesn't have the graphics, but it's Pete and I. Per
110.
usual. What are we, 110?
Yep.
110. Pete, welcome back. How are we tonight?
I'm doing well. 110. Yeah, the graphics. This was a last minute one. So
rank where you expect your performance compared to last week. Better or worse?
Oh, anything could be better. That was rock bottom.
I don't know. Last week you were on point. You were
That was the drunkest I've ever been, and most rushed.
Yeah, well, you funniest you've been in a while, so that was good. The quicker and the drunker, I guess that's what we learned with you. Also joining us again, it's been a while. New haircut, way less hair on side left. Brian, welcome back.
What's up, guys?
And way more hair. The Flow Boy has returned. Jeff, how's power down in Florida?
Power is on. Power is on.
Did you lose power
However,
for a while?
the flow is considerably lower.
We lost power for 5 days. So after day 2, we flew to Massachusetts. So I was up there all last week. Yeah.
All the airports. Have you been listening? We haven't gotten perspective from folks friendly. Have you been listening to the pod?
Oh yeah, religiously every week at some point during the week. Yeah. No,
So
You don't think it's unlistenable?
I don't have no feedback.
Pete and I have a big disagreement at the moment.
I think it's unlistenable.
No, it's not unlistenable. It's unbelievably listenable. Jeff, what do you think about my walk-off joke?
Did he freeze your internet?
No, I'm here.
Oh,
No.
then it froze on my end. Sorry.
That's a Florida problem. What do you think of my walk-off jokes?
They feel like stories, not jokes.
Are you guys messing with me right now?
You're funnier. Why do you do it with ChatGPT? You're funnier.
I don't know how to write jokes, so that's what it is. It's good to have a whole crew here. Give us a life update. It's been a while. Brian, life update?
Everything's good. Thanks.
Case as dynamic as ever. Jeff, any life updates?
Yeah. I was telling these guys before you hopped on. I'm telling my wife we're laying on the couch watching some TV. I was like, hey, I'm going to go hop on the podcast. She's like, the one for your fantasy league? I was like, yeah, actually, it's good. You'd be surprised about the production value. And so I play her the opening on Spotify, right? And she's like, that's really good. That looks well produced. And she's like, hold on, pause it. I want to see all the titles. So she's looking at it. And she's like, oh, Larkin's not on here because he hasn't been in the league a while, right? I'm like, yeah. She's like, your boy Kaleli's not doing too hot, huh? Don't see his name here much. I'm like, that'll be good material. I'm going to hold that 10 minutes. I go, actually, I think he's made the playoffs the most out of anybody, if you can believe it.
I might.
Yeah.
He could this year.
Yeah.
Wait, this would make if I make the playoffs, this would be the most playoff trips by any league member? No way.
It would be the most consecutive, 7 straight.
Wow.
Classic mediocrity.
1 and 5 during that stretch?
One and five. Me and Steve Manguso. Steve's my idol. So Goose and I, we bond. WPI is like the semifinals. I can't get past that game.
Yeah,
St. John's
every year.
St. John's and Jeff Innes. Those are the two nemesis of the Manguso Kaleli couple.
What would you still?
We have nothing in common.
Nothing.
What would happen at WPI? Because as a wrestler, I never paid attention to what was going on in basketball. But what was it, WPI? You guys would play like the state tournament there?
You play the district semifinals and the district finals. And Milford made the district semifinals like 15 times, and we won twice in 15 years.
Wow. It would always end there. I remember Neil Finkelton dunking on you guys.
Neil Finkelton, Joe's team actually won. They beat Neil Finkelton in the finals.
Yeah. Get out of here, really? Yeah. I remember
Mo Briscoe. Neil Finkelton, RIP, by the way.
And Trevor Walker scored like 30.
He did. Yeah,
Neil Finkelton passed away?
Yeah, he passed away.
Briscoe. Of what?
This is not insensitive. I think giganticism.
Yeah.
No way, really?
He was huge.
He was kind of large. Anyway,
you don't see a lot of 80-year-old 7'6" guys. I'm not trying to make a joke of it. Yeah.
The team that Joe's team played Attleboro that year, and their best player, Leland Anderson, remember the name? He went to PC. He died.
No.
Yeah, Leland Anderson died.
What's going on? This is like when you hear a pro wrestler died.
I think Leland Anderson was a pro wrestler. He was a pro wrestler.
He might have been. No, I think Singleton might have. I don't know. We're making up lies now.
Singleton was an actor.
Wait, was he the bulldozer?
No,
King
Albert.
No.
King Albert.
The bulldozer cut meat at Stop and Shop.
Yeah, he was the butcher.
We'd go there. I'd be like, Ma, it's the bulldozer. She's like, no, that's Ron, the guy who cuts my meat.
Wait.
It's the bulldozer.
Wait,
you don't remember this, Mike? Mike, you don't remember this at all?
No.
Yeah, he used to wrestle at the Armory, but he also cut meat at Stop and Shop in the Dell.
Same guy.
Yeah,
he was like billed as a local celebrity, and he would be fighting at the Armory.
he was tag team partners with Prince Albert for one of them, who was like a big name for a while. Yeah,
no,
yeah,
Mike, he was like the one guy that like made it out of Milford, like, and became a pro wrestler.
One guy.
Hold on.
he didn't actually make it out though.
Yeah, he didn't make it out of
The
the
Armory.
He got promoted to the Worcester
Milford's
Stop.
best kept
This
secret.
is great. It's a local show.
The bulldozer.
He was a heel in his own town.
I hate all of you.
He's like, no, guys, I'm from here. They're like, yeah, no, you're playing a heel. Nobody
I
likes
do
you.
remember seeing him like stocking shelves at like Stop and Shop later that month.
Yeah.
Man, the bulldozer, what a fall.
Oh, good callback, Jeff.
Oh yeah, you never forget a face like that.
That's why we have to have Jeff come back periodically like this, Pete. This is good. This is good material.
I don't hesitate to say that every time I was in the Milford Armory, I was there with Jeff Ennis.
Yeah,
I don't think
I
I
feel
ever
like I went to a lot of wrestling events at the Milford Armory.
Yeah.
they were sold out. Standing room only. Well, my mom used to reserve us front row seats, which was great because she'd be sitting up there in the day. She got in a fight with Doink the Clown once, and over something, he pissed her off, did something or whatever, and he broke up his like face makeup into lines upstairs to make her think that they were doing drugs upstairs just to get under her skin.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I remember this whole story. It's 100% true.
Yes.
Was he in makeup the whole time?
Yeah, of course. Can't break character. That's kayfabe.
Kayfabe.
Doink the Clown
He
was
was the
walking
evil
to store
clown.
24.
Yeah, he's cutting up makeup lines.
You went to store 24 to get a Gatorade between sets.
Get some scratch tickets.
Do you think there was more than one Doink the Clown? Yeah,
No.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
No
Like
way.
it was a different guy in every city as Doink the Clown, right?
It had to be. Yeah,
I
Matt
don't
Bloom
think
used to
so.
traveling all around.
I remember when he died and they were like, Doink the Clown died. I was
The
like,
character?
is that? Yeah, they were like, no, there was actually one guy that was Doink the Clown. I was like, get out of here. I could have sworn there was like 7.
I thought
Like the
they
Ultimate
were.
Warrior.
Yeah.
There was like 3 of them.
Yeah, didn't the WWF try to like hold on to Razor Ramon and Diesel's characters when they
Yes.
left, and they
Yeah,
had
they
those guys, like,
recast
Royal
them.
Rumble that year?
Yeah. They got booed out of the gym.
like stunt doubles.
Yeah. They were like, that's fine. We still have Diesel and Razor Ramon, like the names. We'll
All right,
just
what's the difference?
re-characterize them. Yeah.
That was probably the lowest point of watching wrestling as a child when they
That
when they
was low.
reintroduced Diesel and it was a fake Diesel.
Well, that's when you flipped over to TNT and you're like, all right, Nitro, let's see what you got.
Yeah.
Never flipped over until high school.
Yeah, I feel like there was a time there you're trying to watch both, and then like WCW went live, which was great.
Yeah, watch the first hour live and then
Right, and then move over at 9 to Raw. Yeah, good times.
Good old days. The good old
Yeah.
days. Life was easier back
It
then.
was simpler. Yeah.
It was. All right, let's do some recapping, gang. Pete, do you have some stats on scores and booms and busts and everything?
Yeah, I can do all that. I just don't have graphics.
All right, let's hear it. Let's get the
All
week
right, so
7 recap. Pete, lead us up, baby.
boom of the week goes to Dan Larkin, 158.11. He has won 2 of the last 3 booms, and it is his 3rd all time, leaving Kevin Breen alone in the basement at 10th all time. So Kevin Breen now lowest boomer of all time. So congrats, Dan. I'm Venmoing you the money, by the way. I don't know if I'm not confirming anymore with people. So anyway, just check the way you paid me. I'm paying you back. Anyway, Beast of the Week goes to, any guesses?
I can just imagine a world where like some Dan Larkin in Cincinnati's like, oh, I got $50 from this guy. This is great. I don't know. What'd you say?
I just go to whichever the last way you paid me, I just pay you right back.
Funny story. We were actually, I think CJ was playing at someone's bachelor party at some point. Maybe it was Christian's, and he's got D Larkin at Gmail on it for like 3 months, right? And we're not hearing back from Lloyd, and we're like, so finally we see Lloyd, and we're like, hey man, like, are you gonna respond to one of these emails? He's like, what emails? I never got them. Gets all worked up. He's like, that's not even my email, Cliff. It's D. Larkin 85.
No clue.
So this guy Dan Larkin was seeing just months of people just talking garbage on each other about this bachelor party. Never responded. Never told CJ it wasn't him. Yeah, just stayed on the chain. Yeah.
The other D. Larkin just stayed on.
Yeah, just stayed on. Yeah. He should have stirred the pot a little.
You have you have responsibility to the group, quite frankly. All right. Beast of the week was Lamar. It was 39.24. It was a bottom 3 beast performance of all time. But Lamar goes into first all time with 4 beasts. So congratulations. Whoa. He tied Tyreek Hill with 4 beasts of the week. So big one for Lamar, even though it was a small score. Longest play of the week, you guys know. It was an 81-yard run.
I'll know it. When you say it, I'll know it.
81-yard run by the King, Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
It wasn't his longest play of the year. He had a 87-yarder on week 4, and he does that crazy smile when he runs for a touchdown. Have you guys seen that?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, Google it at home.
He can't do this all year, dude. I can't believe he's going to do this all season.
He would not be good for the Cowboys.
Yeah, he would not be good with the Cowboys, but they pace him out. It's pretty good. The average score was really low. It was 120, down from 132 last week. So really, really bad one.
We had, I think, the lowest score ever in the league.
Yes, we had the lowest score of the week. I know that.
No. In the history of this scoring system, this has to be the lowest score.
54 is pretty bad. Yeah. So anyway, magic number 136. If you go over it, you are 27-5. So 136 still a pretty strong number, even though somebody I think fell to it this week. But anyway, that's the week in review.
All right. Game of the week was awful. So game of the week was the biggest blowout of the week. One of the worst performances we've seen in years. 100-point victory has to be close to a record. Pete, Spates takes down Breen. Breen is in a free fall, but give us the game recap.
Yeah, so game of the week, more like blowout of the week / year. This one was the biggest one. It was 155 to 154, so just over that 101 mark. Breen does have the lowest score of the year. And when you look at his roster, it's kind of funny because I don't know if you've noticed the amount of injuries on his team. Not one. He doesn't have a single injury. No. There was nobody that was pulled. This team just flat out sucked. Under 100 for the second straight week, and the trade deadline is approaching. Do you guys think Kevin Breen should be buying, selling? What do you guys think?
Jeff, what do you think? I haven't brought you in.
I think he could probably. I don't know what he's really selling because a lot of his guys are young. Maybe it's Calvin Ridley or some bit part like that, but he's got a lot of young guys that he probably wants to hold on to. So I could see him trying to pick up more picks. It's just what he does, even though he has $1 million already. But I don't see a lot of movable assets.
But what's the value? Who are the guys who even would provide value?
Josh Allen
when he's back. Waddle.
It seems like it's Josh Allen. Josh Allen to me seems like the guy if he's going to move someone.
Yeah, he would move Josh Allen, I think.
Yeah,
especially with all the first round picks.
But who needs a quarterback besides Larkin?
Larkin, that's it. But Larkin. It's a new guy to deal with. The old guys aren't working.
Jeff Freeze? I think Jeff froze. Jeff froze?
No, we're all here, baby.
Yeah. Jeff froze on mine. So, awful performance by Breen. Really good performance again by Spates, and he had a 0 burger from Devonta Smith, and Jaden Daniels went out in the first quarter. So, Case, I think another week we have to look at this and be like, Case, it's Spates to lose. Is he thinking the same thing? Brian, bring you in. Give me some Spates commentary.
No, he's in a good spot. Jaden Daniels finally hit a slow spot, getting hurt. He's going to plug in a viable backup quarterback this week. So, if anything, Spates has shown he's the most prepared team in the league to handle all the bumps and bruises that go along the way. He might be the deepest.
Pete, he's good, dude. Spates' team is good.
I mean, he ran up against a 54 spot, but –
very good, very scary. I think he's I picked him as one of my playoff teams. I feel pretty good about it. I also picked Breen and DeVita to finish last, so I feel good about that. Yeah, we're feeling so far so good.
Do we remember who we picked to win the Super Bowl? I feel like I picked Spates. No, I might have picked Darian.
Well, why do you guys pick me?
I picked Ennis over Spates.
I picked Ennis.
I think I had Darian over Spates. Ooh.
I can actually tell. I can tell you, I have it.
Does Breen? Let me just get a read on this room. Chances of Breen making the playoffs, scale of 1 to 10. 10 lock, 1 definitely not.
One.
I thought he overachieved to start the season. Those all of a sudden it was like, okay, 166 to start, 160 to follow up at that. I was like, we were having conversations. Is he legit? He's always started out like that, usually when he's hot, but then this is very unbreen like to pull such a 180. And I said before, he's averaged just around 100 points the last month since those big blowups. So he has cooled off considerably. I don't see him coming back.
I'm going to give it his problem is his point total is going to get him in trouble. Like he's going to have to win games, not just closing games. I'm going to give him more. The one thing think he has going for him, if he stays the route with this team, let's assume he has Josh Allen. The next suite of guys, if you assume Waddle gets Tua back, if you assume Ridley now is going to get 15 targets a game because Hopkins gone, if you assume Harrison stabilizes, if you assume if you get Chubb in the lineup, like he does have 5 or 6 guys who could stabilize his roster. I don't see boomability necessarily, but this is the bottom. He's at the pits. I think he's going to make a call. Do I think I have a 4 out of 10 chance, or do I start to sell and maybe see if I can get something for Josh Allen or get something for Ramondre or someone like that? I think that's where he is.
The hard thing for Marcelling is you're just going to accumulate more picks next year. He's already got a million of them, and he didn't even use last year's picks. Like, does he keep on pushing it down the road, or does he just keep Allen, who's going to be there in 2 years?
Yes, I think that's what he would do, and try to hit top picks again.
I don't
exactly. Just keep collecting them and moving them. Yeah.
If I'm Kevin, I can already look next year and say I have Marvin Harrison, I have Rome Odunze, I have Josh Allen, I have Nico Collins, I have Jaden Reed. Like those are like legit keepers. There's half my. So if I can land the 2 top 3 picks, I think that's his path out.
Sure, I'm saying he's not going to trade Allen to accumulate more picks.
Spates 1 to 10. Are we guaranteeing a Spates playoff?
He's getting up at 8-9 range. Yeah,
8.
Yeah, he's going to have the wins, and he's got more than enough points. He's the highest.
I think he's a 10. I think he's a lock. I don't think I'm a lock yet because I have people who can beat me on points. Spates is a lock. Spates is a 10. His team, I would even argue, week to week has underachieved because he hasn't had neighbors in the last couple weeks. Jaden Daniels, again, a little dice rolly when you have a guy who's that slight. Every single week, he has a chance to boom. Every week.
Michael, you had Spates as the regular season champion.
I've been Team Spates for years.
You also had Christian as the number 2, and you had Christian as your Super Bowl pick.
Well, speaking of Christian, let's go to that one. We had a lovely weekend together, Christian and I. We talked multiple times on the phone. But let's go to that preview. Was that game number 2? It was a great segue we just made. Let's hear it. Let's go. Good battle between 2 of the OGs. I love a good OG bowl. Bert versus Ernie bowl. I still don't know which one I am, but I beat Christian. Ernie? You're Bert.
Where does that joke come from? Bert. Yeah, you want to talk about mustard jokes.
I have a skinny face. He has a round face. We used to hang out a lot in elementary school. Well, my face was really skinny and his face was really round. Bert and Ernie.
I think that makes you Bert.
I don't know which one has a skinny face.
You're Bert.
I think I'm the top. That's all I know. Let's hear the recap on this one. I beat him. I'm on top. I beat him. That's what I'm. What do you think I'm referring to?
Just don't send these 2 guys to buy the groceries. That's all. That's all you need to know.
The real thing is you're both losers.
Just find 8 other guys in the league go grocery shopping. Not these 2.
I got potatoes. I got parts.
Let them run a draft for you. Let them set a lineup. Do not let them buy the groceries.
Christian and I had a blast.
I think the first time in 110 episodes, I might have been rocked after a joke. That one was pretty funny.
All right, go ahead. Let's hear it.
All right, I don't have much to preview here because it kind of went according to plan there. Mike, slightly overachieved. Good for you. You won 5 in a row. This was the closest game of the week, and there was a Monday night. I think it was a Sunday night football comeback there. So, big game by Saquon, who refused to go back in the game. Did you see that? Actually, was let the boys eat. Yeah, good for him.
Love it.
I have a question for you.
Go.
You're a New England Patriots fan still, right?
Maybe. Go ahead. What's your question?
Would you buy a jersey of somebody that's on your fantasy team?
No.
Ennis?
Yeah, I have, and I would again.
Wow. You go full AP? Jersey? Or
I haven't since AP. Yeah, I haven't since AP. But that's
full jersey. Would you go T-shirt jersey to kind of get your toe back in the water?
I think I'd have to go T-shirt jersey with this physique now. I don't know if the regular jersey is really, really appropriate.
Who would you buy?
Yeah.
Jamar Chase, like skin tight, number 1.
Number 1. Yeah. Would be the biggest number 1 in Florida.
Load. Case, do you have to wear Casey, do you have to, as a baseball manager, do you have to wear a uniform all the time?
I don't wear the uniform top. No, I have to wear the pants.
You wear like a jacket?
Typically a BP top.
I'd wear a BP top at all times if I could. Like,
quite comfortable.
They're amazing.
Yeah.
Like golf, anything. Like getting out of the shower.
It's got vents in the back. It's pretty nice.
Casey,
yeah.
Do you wear one of those John Olerud helmets, or do you wear a baseball hat?
You have to wear a shell. You have to wear a shell if you coach the bases.
You do.
Yeah. Casey, do you have a number like on the roster or no?
Yeah, I'm number 4. It's my playing number.
Interesting. All right.
I assign my assistant coaches whatever numbers are left over. The only number the team can't pick is 4. That's mine.
Why 4? You just had it all your life?
Yeah, I wore it in college.
With NIL, would you let a kid buy you out now?
We can't, no NILs in at a Federal Service Academy. It'd be double dipping.
Oh,
our guys have been being paid since day one, Jeff. We're the original.
Whoa,
nice. The original NIL. Yeah.
Somebody went to a webinar. Yeah.
Wow.
Jeez. All right.
We went to a webinar.
Nobody is being paid at Coast Guard Academy. In case there's anyone from the NC2A listening.
Mike, would you get a Saquon jersey?
I can't pay you.
No, or a T-shirt jersey? No.
If I'm going to get anybody on my team, I'd get
It's Chuba Hubbard. It's Chuba Hubbard.
I love Chuba Hubbard.
Just Chuba on the back, not Hubbard.
I bought a Joey Harrington off some kid's back once, so I would definitely do it again.
All right. Well, that answers my question. That's all I got.
All right, thanks, Pete. I do think the Patriots suck, by the way. I think Mayo's an awesome coach, but beside the point.
He's new. Give him a break.
He sucks.
Pete,
Mayo on the sideline looks like CGD at the draft. He's out of it. Doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't know if the headset's on, the Zoom's working. Yeah,
he might. The headset might not be plugged in.
How many rounds is that?
No one.
I've never seen somebody more.
How many quarters are left in this game? I'm so tired.
Have you ever seen him after the interview gets over? He looks like he was dropped off on the side of the road. He just goes like walks away. He has no idea where to go. Like, Mayo, get it together.
He's got to do a better job with the way he wears his hat too. He looks like a doofus half the time. Yeah. It's like up top like this. Bad look.
He's a below average coach. He's a below average coach. Darian's team is below average. I'll do the same thing 1 to 10 to Darian. Chances he makes the playoffs.
1.
You think Darian and Breen are out essentially?
Yeah.
I'll say 2 because it's better than Breen.
I had CGD as my 4 seed originally. Looking at it, I'm going to put it at 3.5.
Oh, I think
What gives you hope on his roster, Brian?
What gives me hope? Jalen Hurts, Bijan, Bowers is starting to show a little something, and he's the only target to throw to in Vegas. And it's good to be a tight end without a quarterback. Maybe Jonathan Brooks comes back and steals Chuba's looks and gives him a little second half voltage.
The problem is he doesn't have guys that go off besides Hurts. Yeah. Just the ceiling is far too low on like everybody else.
Yeah, like Garrett Wilson won't score 50 or 80 in a week.
No.
He won't score 50 or 80 a week. He'll lose by scoring 130.
Yep.
Gonna have to mute you.
Dude, right? I mean, you saw the same thing too, right? Jeff's on a stream of conscious, and you just dove in.
He just goes, and then he just gets higher and higher, like, whoa.
It's my train of thought.
Dude. Like an old guy just wading into traffic. He's like, I've been here long enough. Here I go, everyone.
I guess it's my turn.
All right, Case, should we talk about your team, Brian? Next game, Jeff and Case, Pete, give us the recap.
Casey was the 8th seed, big upset over number 3 seed Jeff, who I believe Casey's going to say, I'm surprised you showed your face after a 138-87 beating. CJ Stroud was the interesting one, not just from like a rubbing it in perspective, but like how can a quarterback score 5 points? I think that might be physically impossible. So maybe a once in a lifetime thing, but a bad week to do it. Amari Cooper's touchdown was pretty funny. Did you guys see that?
Yeah, they had to tell him the route.
Yeah, Mike.
In the huddle. Yeah, they were explaining the route to him.
It's okay. You're here now. Did you see Keon Coleman assisting Amari Cooper?
My guy.
I love it. taking a tight touchdown away from you and just giving it right to what's his face. So anyway, that's all I got. Good win, Case.
Jeff, defend yourself.
Oh, bad week. No, there's no defending. I mean, it was bad all over. I don't know what I watched the entire Green Bay game, and it was a heck of a game.
What was that?
Yeah, I mean, they weren't getting open. I mean, he had a couple of throws that weren't great, and then they just ran Mixon. I mean, they ran Mixon, and honestly, they wouldn't have scored a lot if they didn't. I think they returned a kick. They had a couple turnovers.
Yep.
They had short field. It was a bad game offensively. Mixon looked good though, and I mean, nobody else showed up. What are you going to do?
Jeff, I'm guessing when Nico Collins went out, you said I got paid her for a month. I got potentially number one target guy plus CJ Stroud. Where's your sense of worry? You've gone to Stroud every week. You've not deviated. He's been your guy. Do you keep going back to him, or when do you make a decision to either go Purdy or go elsewhere?
Yeah, I mean, this week's tough. They both have pretty good matchups. I mean, Purdy's got Dallas. They're off a bye, but their defense stinks. And divisional game with the Colts for the Texans. So I don't know. That's the decision to make this week. The problem is I like the matchup with him and Dell, right? The double points should get some deep throws. Green Bay's got a good defense. I think I heard that they have the two best safeties in the NFL grading wise. So, tough week. What are you going to do? At least if everybody's going to all have a bad week, have it all together, right?
I agree with that. And Pickens might be back, so that gives you a target, and maybe McCaffrey comes back again this year.
Hopefully.
Give me your score, 1 to 10. Are you making the playoffs?
I'd say a 6.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the same. I've got a pretty good point total outside of this week, so that'll help. But I mean, I need to win games. It's 4-3. There's a big cluster in the middle there. So yeah, I mean, you can't really tell right now, but I'd say about a 6. I'd say I can get.
How about the guy that just beat you?
I put him on the same. I'd put us on the same level. I think he's got a better roster right now, though. Moving forward, without McCaffrey coming back or anything else, I think he's got Kupp's coming back, and he's got a pretty good roster.
Case, bring you in wire-to-wire victory. We thought Devontae would get a rebound game, but you still put up 138, break the magic number, beat Jeff, and your team is kind of back. So give us your take, your sentiment, and your grade, 1 to 10.
Surprised you showed up, Ennis. Surprised you showed your face. Yeah. I felt like last year the trade market.
Let's just merge right into Case talking. I'm just going to go right through it.
Good segue, Mike. Let's talk about your game next.
Thanks. Go ahead, Case.
No, the two trades made me very happy to get viable quarterbacks for both guys. So Josh Allen to Cooper, Rodgers back with Adams. I like both those things moving forward. Unfortunately, lost Mike Evans last night for Monday night for a little bit. So team's still not going to be fully healthy, but more pieces are getting back. So it's good to see.
Pete, if only one of these two makes the playoffs, who do you think's making it, Jeff or Case?
I think Jeff's on the decline right now, but I still think he's good enough to make it. I'm going to go Jeff, yeah.
Jeff, all right, I'll take Case in that battle. I think Case's team, he's got more pieces that are coming back in the lineup. I love Kupp coming back before Nakua. Case should get a couple wins these next couple weeks with his roster.
I'm sorry, yeah. Don't get me wrong. It's not because of players. I think Jeff's a better coach.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But way better hair, according to the camera that we're seeing.
I mean, I didn't even want to discuss that.
There's a ChatGPT pick. Yeah.
Come on, I got a better beard.
I don't know about that, dude. All right, let's go to the next game. ChatGPT. I don't remember who ChatGPT picked in this game. But that's okay. The toe and the tie. Tough one. We could be in two teams going in opposite directions. DeVito looks back. DeVito does not look back, and the Chiefs' offense is kind of hurting. But Pete, give us that recap.
Yeah, Andy, nightmare week, not very good. 116 to 174, a big loss. DeVito's won 3 in a row. Good for DeVito. But DeVita, he was climbing. Stick with me on these numbers. He was scoring 135, 145, 143, 164 in a boom, and then 74 points. What the hell? If you're looking at Andy, let's talk about the things that went wrong for him. The stack didn't hit again. Ayuk tore his knee, and he's out for the season. Jamison Williams got negative points. And Debo caught pneumonia 4 plays into the game and got 2 plays into the game.
Jameson Williams got suspended.
There you go. That's what I was holding up 2 fingers for.
Right.
What was that one?
He got popped for PEDs after the game.
Well, that's not pneumonia.
No, not Debo. Jameson Williams.
Oh, really? Oh, geez,
yeah.
That was the whole thing. All right. Well,
something every year.
I got a question for you guys. Andy boomed last week, and then all this happened. Do you think he's going to boom again the rest of the year?
No.
Get out of here.
No, I mean this matchup. You look at this. This is one of the ones where you shake your head if you're Pete or Christian, you just shake your head this week and you're like, I would have beat both of these guys and one of them gets a win. You know, that's the tough part.
Thank you for taking this serious, Jeff.
Yeah.
It was a question. I gave you the answer. Don't be mad that it was a monkey
twins over here. I don't know what they're doing.
All right, monkey see, monkey do. We've been dogging on DeVito Case for a month.
Nope.
Give me his grade. I just want Case to give me his number, 1 through 10.
DeVito's a 4.
4. He's right there at the moment. He's somehow DeVito's over 500 and he's tied for a playoff spot. He's 50 points behind Jeff. So in the mix, Tyreek coming back. We'll see what happens next week when we preview Steve's next game. Last game of the week.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Last game of the week. Back-to-back weeks, your team has showed up, but you unfortunately played a better team. Give us the recap of this one. Lloyd booms all over your face.
That's all right. It's not really controllable who you boom on. It's more about you booming than where it lands.
All right.
Well, what's that?
You've been saying that for years.
Yeah, all the way back. Well, I am 6th in the league in scoring, last in standings, first in your heart. What a season for the Orange Crush. I don't even know how to really describe it. Dan, though, much respect. He's had the hardest schedule so far. His opponents score on average 147 points. So tough schedule for him, and including getting one of the best games I've put together. So shout out to Dan. As for me, I'm just going to keep swinging. If I lose more and more game, I'm probably going to be out of it. So I'm just going to play for the boom and try to ruin some seasons.
Pete, when Chris Godwin got hurt, did you feel like that was like represent? You've been Team Godwin all year, and then he has the most gruesome ankle injury that we've seen in months. Did that feel symbolic of your season? I
was asleep, thankfully. I fell asleep at halftime. Woke up, saw the news, thought that sounds about right, and that was it. Hey, Casey, calling it quits early tonight.
No, he's going to butt into a conversation in his own house.
I know
heard someone talking. You got to get a thought in.
I was like, do you want to say anything? You're on a podcast with us.
Jeff,
the issue with Godwin, though, because I was watching the game, and I was shocked he was still on the field. That's the bad part.
Me too.
Yeah, you hate to see that. Yeah, I mean, they were getting stomped. I think they were down 3 scores. There was 14 seconds left. Like, it's just bad. It's tough to see.
He looked pretty pissed off in the picture of him on the truck. He was like, well, this sucks.
Did you feel disappointed, Pete, that somebody else got traded to the Chiefs, not Deontay Johnson?
No, I have Hopkins too.
Oh, that's right. Jeff, you've been listening. You've been a reliable listener.
Yep.
I've been pretty anti-Lloyd's quarterback strategy.
Same.
What would you do?
What strategy?
If you're Dan, what do you do? I still don't get why he's not trying to make a move. But what do you do?
He's in a tough spot in his own head, right? Where he wants to hold on to. No, I'm serious. He wants to hold on to all this young talent.
You just kicked him out. You kicked him out, didn't you?
That's hilarious. So Casey got kicked out for people that aren't watching the video. He booted him. Thank you. But no, I think Lloyd's in his own head where he doesn't want to give up any actual talent for a quarterback because he looks at the quarterback scores on a weekly basis and he's like, oh, I can find a way to get to 20, right? Because that's kind of the magic number with a QB. If you can get to 20, I feel like anything more than that is extra. So I think for him, he's in a tough spot where he doesn't want to trade all these guys he's waited for. So maybe Geno's the guy. I don't know. I wouldn't rely on it if I had that team.
They throw a lot, so Geno does give him more upside than the other guy. He's carrying 3 quarterbacks. He can't play 2 of them. That's the thing I still don't get. But I'm saying that I think my quarterbacks have scored a combined 15 points the last 2 weeks, so I really shouldn't be talking too much. But Dan
mine scored 5. So what do I have to stand on?
Exactly. What do you and I know? Give me your Dan score, 1 through 10. 7?
I'd say he's higher than me in Case. 7. 7 seems right. I think the quarterback thing's really, really might hurt him.
I never asked you where do you think you think it goes Spates, me, Dan, 987, 977?
I think you're a 7 too. I think Spates is way up there. I don't see him losing many games or end points. Yeah, I think he's more sturdy than anybody else. I'd say you're probably 7, Lloyd's a 7, and
Yeah, me too.
some 6s. Yeah.
You see it the same way, where it's Spates is to lose, Lloyd 9 in the next bucket, and then that middle group, I still think it's quite interesting. And there's I think it's going to come down to Jeff and Case, to be quite honest with you. I think that's.
Hey, you never gonna know. There could be a late Orange Crush run that could just mess everything up. But no, with all due respect to Jeff, I do think that the number 4 seed is kind of open there.
One interesting thing, Jeff, I don't know if you've looked ahead. Have you seen your last week of the season? Who you play?
Yeah. Don't I play Casey?
You play Lloyd.
Oh, Lloyd. Oh, yeah, but we rematched from last week where I beat him by 0.22, right?
Case plays Spates.
Yeah.
Case plays Spates the last week of the year.
That's a good week. Yeah. Hopefully we're all still in it when we get there, because that'd be nice.
I think those teams will be in it. Those teams will be around there. There's a couple big matchups coming up down the pike, so we'll see. We'll see how the league separates and see if the chosen ones can keep winning like the fans all want. Do we want to do pick recap, Pete? How do we do?
No,
you don't know. I don't know either. By the way, I have a new way that I'm listening to the podcast.
How's that? Not at all.
I listen to the recaps on Saturday morning, like Friday afternoon, something like that, and I listen to the previews Tuesday morning. So after I know the outcomes, I want to see how we did.
Wow.
I've been doing that for years, dude. Come on.
I
You gotta catch up.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I used to listen to him on Tuesday morning, just laugh. Like we are the worst at this.
You had some atrociously bad takes last week.
Oh, I mean, I'm not claiming to be anything special. I'm just doing whatever, dude. I don't know.
One of your takes was it was like you were like I was like I think my team's gonna have a good chance because Saquon's gonna go off, and you're like I don't know, Mike. Going into the Meadowlands, the Giants defense is gonna be revved up to stop.
Doesn't sound like something I'd say. I try to give you intentionally bad advice. I don't know.
Hey, we got any listeners yet, Pete?
2.
Two listeners. Hey,
Yeah.
welcome
Hello.
aboard. Please join the comment section. Make your picks as we go. Maybe we'll see Steve in a couple minutes. Brian, welcome back.
Hey.
Everything okay?
Yeah. Work call.
Work on.
And I-
Maybe worth it.
Just an interruption. Okay,
Better
so-
throw 98.
All right, game of the week, Jeff. You're in the game of the week again, buddy. Welcome back. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of this thing. Team number 1 seed, CJ Spates, takes on team number 4 seed, looking for a rebound. Can the Big Rides get it? Pete, give us the preview.
All right, I got to remember, I didn't really do much research here, so bear with me. CJ, number 1 team. He's also the number 1 team in scoring. Jeff, the number 4 team in the standings. Ironically, also the number 4 team in scoring. It doesn't work out like that the rest of the day, so don't think I had that planned. The number 1 player I see being impactful here is J.K. Dobbins. He's going to be at home against New Orleans. He's given up the most fantasy points. I think that's going to be a big point for Jeff, and he's going to need a lot of points to compete with Mr. CJ Spates. However, Kyron Williams at home against Minnesota. They are the 2nd most generous to fantasy running back. So goddamn the same game, 1 and 2. So good for them. CJ, that's a point for him. I am going to take CJ. He's going to be my lock. I would like to really talk to Christian because Christian's kind of the historian on the league. I would really like to talk to him about where CJ might be ranking on a historical path here. I think that it might be up there. Where do you guys think CJ might rank on a historical path?
Christian, listen, so he'll dive in. He'll
He
give
is
us
up there. I actually
give
got a
us the
text
rundown.
from him maybe 3 weeks ago, and it said, "What if I told you that the Big Rigs are on pace to be number 2 or 3 all time in our league?" And
Wow.
I said, "It's way too early." And he said
I don't
only
think
3
so.
teams with a worse rating than. No, never mind. That was about me. No. He said to me, only 3 teams with a worse rating than you currently have won a Super Bowl. Time to load up. And he tried to trade with me.
Good tactic.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
okay, so I'll put a bow on mine. I'm picking CJ in the lock, but I and no disrespect to Jeff, but I do wanna think we should start looking at CJ as one of the all-time greatest teams right now.
All right, Christian, let's get some stats on that next week. Christian will give us a text to the group. He'll see it. I think one of my favorite Pete DeLucas is is the no offense Pete DeLuca. There was weeks where you would say that literally every single podcast and say very disparaging things about people.
It was the name of an episode.
I said no offense.
The name of an episode.
If you know anything about me, I've been going through some things. So let's just all move on, all right?
No offense, Steve. You suck.
Don't take it personal.
No offense, but it was a lot
personal.
going on. You're lucky that's all you got.
Not personal.
All right, Case, let's have you take a look at Jeff's team. Then I want to have Jeff take a look at where he's worried about CJ's team. He's got a ton of questions. Kamara, apparently I don't know if it was a fake Twitter account, but he broke his hand like a couple weeks ago. Don't blame X.
Fake news.
Jordan Mason's banged up. Looks like he's playing. Jonathan Taylor, hopefully he's coming back. Rickety scaffolding for Team Jeff, and he's pivoting to Brock Purdy. Do you think he's throwing the right dice here, or what advice would you give to Jeff trying to rebound this week?
Jeff, while we have you on the pod here, what's your confidence level in Taylor coming back this week off the high ankle? Is he back or is he?
I think he's back. He practiced today, so that's the first time he's actually practiced in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So I think he does play, which would be big, obviously.
Yeah, I sort of think you need him because Mason's shoulder would be for the way he runs. That's an issue because that's one hit away from being out of the game. So you sort of need the depth there. It's actually interesting, this matchup. I think more wide receivers have taken a lot more traction in years recent, right? And then these two teams are built around running backs. And CJ's obviously had a huge pull with Mixon, Williams, and now Henry taking him to the top of the league. And if Jeff gets McCaffrey back to go along with Kamara and Taylor, we might be seeing a resurgence of the value of running back on successful rosters. All that being said, I like CJ this week. I think Ennis needs a little bit more health on his roster to compete against CJ's roster.
Jeff, 2 against you, and you're going up to a guy. I think one of the things that's kept CJ as steady as he has been, he has a very high floor. Kyron Williams has scored a touchdown every single
awesome.
week.
Yeah.
Jahmyr Gibbs is getting a lot of touches. And if Mixon's healthy, you've got 3 guys who he's going to roll out every week that even on bad weeks, they're going to get 50 points. So 3 of his guys get 50. Is there anybody you look at his roster that you think is susceptible to a bad week? And do you see yourself getting an upset?
Yeah, I could see. I mean, of course, there could be an upset any week. Anybody can beat anybody in this. But yeah, I think for it to happen for me, it'd have to be Devontae Smith doesn't show up again, right? Because now that A.J. Brown's back, you maybe have KC throw the ball a bit more. Maybe they're in a shootout with Vegas, and Kareem Hunt doesn't get 20 carries like he does every week now. And then maybe the Pittsburgh D against Neighbors. Maybe he's a quiet game. So those would be 3 that I think I need to have show up to have a shot here.
And do you he's got the only guy on Thursday night. He's got one of his best players on Thursday. Do you go into that and say, I need to keep Kyron Williams under a certain number of points? Or how do you look at that when your opponent's playing on the first
I mean, obviously it'd be like keep him under as projected, right? Or keep him at as projected. Don't have him go nuts. But I think the thing is, like, it's not necessarily Kyron Williams. Like, yeah, if he gets 50, that hurts. But if he gets his usual points, okay, at least I'm hanging around. I'd love to keep him out of the end zone for the first time. Short week. Maybe they don't run the ball. Who knows? So we'll see.
I think it's a tough spot for Minnesota this week. I actually like the Rams tomorrow night. And I like CJ. No superlatives for me. I'm going to take Spates. Ennis, you taking yourself in the upset, or are you going to go with a clean sweep for the first game?
Yeah, my picks don't count, so I'm going to take myself.
There you go, Jeff. You want to upset it? We don't even keep track of these.
Yeah, that's anymore, a lock and a boom.
And an upset.
And an upset. Yeah, that's the all 4. I love myself. I'll see you guys later.
Welcome to the pod, Jeff. Cool game. That's a cool game. This is a cool game. Jeff Spates this time of year is a cool game. So I look forward to that one. Should be a good game. Let's go game number 2, though, Pete. I don't know what it is, so I'm waiting for you to click that little button you got. There we go. Steve in game number 2. Look at this guy making a return. But let's get the preview. I feel like Dan and Steve have no history. This is like a no. What's the tie-in here? No history.
Just Dan complaining about the DeVito trades he gets for quarterbacks. That's about it. That's a lot of resentment. From Dan on DeVito.
Resentment.
Much like when we dove in deep to the Christian Breen relationship, what the connective tissue was there, and ended up being umpiring, which who knew? But what is the connective tissue between DeVito and Larkin?
I have no idea.
They're Woodland and Brookside.
Weak ankles.
Woodland and Brookside. They didn't play any of the same sports.
Brian got it. They have weak ankles.
They both injury prone.
That's it.
Also, incredible amount of hair gel between the two. I'm not even gonna lie.
There we go, guys. There we go.
All right, Dan, number 3 in the standings, number 2 in scoring. Steve, number 5 in the standings, but number 9 in scoring. Don't look at, I mean, that is pretty bad. Big player this game, big, as Steve would say, Breece Hall and the Jets. And I really do think that he's going to be an impact player because the Patriots legitimately cannot stop any running back that seeing Tank Bigsby rip off massive yardage against them in London, it was awful. And so imagine what Hall can do to them. I think the depth just isn't there for Steve after Lamar and AJ. I think that if Dan had a quarterback, he would be in a boom position, and he's got Caleb Williams going against the Redskins, or the Commanders, excuse me. I think that one might be something that puts him over the top. So I'm going to pick Dan to boom.
Yeah, Dan's playing quarterback roulette if he's throwing Williams or Smith or Lawrence in there, but who knows what he does. Jeff, we didn't have you talk about Steve's team at all, really, in the first go-through. It seems like 2 is back. Tyreek Hill's done nothing for the last month, and Steve is going to get his team at max strength. Lamar, Brown, Hill with all their guns. Tony Pollard is actually in a good spot as well without Hopkins there. So is this the week that you see Steve continuing his run and getting an upset, or do you think Lloyd prevails as the lead dog?
Yeah, I think DeVito needs the top 4 because if those don't show up, he's dead, right? Every single week. Or one of them shows up and goes nuts. I think week 1 I played him and he hammered me because he had Hill and Brown go nuts, right? Nobody else did. The interesting guy that I see for Steve this week would actually be, if he plays, would be Jennings again, having a big week. Ayuk's out, Debo's sick or whatever. We saw what happens when he's the only target. We put up 55 on someone. So that's the interesting one I see this week. And I actually like Steve in this matchup. And I think it may come down to Dan's quarterback pick. So I'm going to take Steve in the upset.
Do you think it's Gino? You think he's going to go Gino or Caleb?
I think he goes Gino.
Case, you think he goes Gino or Caleb?
I think he goes Gino.
Pete, you think Caleb? I think Caleb. I think he goes Caleb Williams.
Yeah, I'm
blown away about Caleb with no Jaden Daniels. If that game gets a little mucked up, or they're up big, so that he shut him down early and they run the ball more with Swift.
All right. Well, let's get you to talk about Dan's team a little bit. So we heard Breece Hall. I think Pete's on a good angle there. Quarterback roulette coming through. He still has some of the best players in football. We didn't even talk about Jamar Chase against a rickety Eagles defense. This looks like a good separator game for Dan. Do you see it that way, and who's your pick?
I do. I think DeVito's got a little bit of mirage showing us because he's won 3 straight, but he's played Andy, Breen, and Christian. So the bottom half of the league. So that 4-3 might be a little bit of mirage, or this run he's on might be a little bit of mirage. I just don't think he's deep enough to Jeff's point. Like, he's going to need all 4 of those guys to click, and it might not be enough. You know who's awesome is Brian Thomas. We were all second-guessing that pick a little bit, Brian Thomas over Xavier Worthy in the draft. Lloyd might have been the guy that was right on that. Did you say that, Pete?
I didn't have a pick, so yeah.
Yeah, I thought
he had a good week against the Patriots. I mean, let's not go.
The guy's been good, Jeff. The guy's been good.
He's in the Hall of Fame. That's what I'm really surprised.
The guy's been good. He's been good. He's been one of the top rookie wideouts. So
sure.
And he doesn't have CD Lamb in his projected lineup right now, so you know he's going in there. And to beat Breece Hall is going to run crazy tomorrow night or whatever it is, Sunday. So I'm going Larkin, boom.
You said mirage many times in that.
Twice, I think. Twice?
3 times.
You think Steve's one of the people that
watch repeat things. I'll get the point across.
You think Steve's one of the guys that watches us online?
Nah. I think Steve's not that interested anymore in us.
That's too bad. I'm still interested in him.
You think he's going to – I mean, it's 10:30. He's definitely home from hockey.
I mean, we waited for him.
I agree. We started late. You didn't get my pick. I'm going to take Dan. I think Dan's putting CD in. I think Dan's going to put Najee Harris in. Dan's roster is really good, so I think I'll take Dan. I'll lock it. I'm going to lock it. You know what? I'm not going to lock it. Give me Dan. No superlatives. I'll lock the next game. Let's go to the next game. Andy and I's connective tissue. What is Andy and I's? I don't even know. Summer league basketball.
I mean, you guys went to elementary school together.
Mike Weber impersonations.
Oh, we do a good Mike Weber. Walk around here like your shit doesn't
Could you please do your whole projection in that voice?
All right, give us
also
a preview.
Your roster, like as your coach, Mike Weber.
DeVito, get on the line and just shut up.
I want to hear a whole Coach Weber preview. So
He used to love telling people to shut up and get on the line. Okay, Comf, just shut up.
He was so scary. I don't know why, but I always felt like I knew something weird that I knew who his wife was.
I think Tammy Weber's in the Milford High School Athletic Hall of Fame.
I want to petition the Milford High School Hall of Fame right now, and I'm telling you, and we got some Milfordians that listen to this, and I don't care what anyone says.
There's a form you could fill out.
Wait, who are you petitioning for, though? You didn't even finish
I'm sure that form goes right into the garbage can. Paul DeVita needs to be into the Milford High School Hall of Fame immediately. He holds the most individual records for any single athlete in Milford High School. That's 11 out of 13 events for Paul DeVita. He is a medalist, and he was a state finalist, and he was there for 4 years. He's one of the nicest guys I know, and for some reason, he's never been nominated, never been a part of it. Paul DeVita should be in the Milford High Hall.
Does he really hold 11 records in Milford High School?
11 individual records, Mike. Wow. He has 2 more relay records.
Wow. He's a swimmer, right? I get that right?
Yeah. Walk by that wall in the Milford lobby in the pool, and it is his name all over it. It is awesome. Wow. My cousin. I am very proud he swam in my pool. All right, let's talk about.
Would you say you're more proud of Andy or Paul as a cousin?
Oh, good question.
What, like, in what respect? Athletically?
However you want to take it. Just leaving it there. Marinate on it.
In terms of pride.
I'm going to go with Paul, and I'm not giving an answer.
Fair.
You got to do your thing, Pete.
Yeah, let's leave it there. All right. Mike, the number 2 seed, number 3 in scoring. Andy, the number 8 seed, number 7 in scoring. High ceiling for Mike with all those running backs. You see Mike's usually when I think of his team, I think of flamboyant running backs being drafted. But now we got all these flamboyant wide receivers like what was that guy on the number 1 overall pick? Tavon Austin.
Tavon and Austin and Percy Harvin, man. I was ahead of my time. That was the problem.
Yeah, Percy. I'm gonna take Percy. All right. So
Mike's got an all LGBTQ team.
Guys, I'm going with Percy.
I was woke before woke was a thing, Jeff. Never forget it, buddy.
Yeah, he was the first guy.
That was first.
Mike was woke back in 06. I'm out on Andy. He has too many injuries, especially after last week. I have a fear that he's going to go to his bench instead of free agency, which is going to make his team even worse. So I'm going to pick Mike.
Andy's in a really tough spot here, Brian. Like, he's losing. Ayuk's going to be out. Debo's going to be out. Potentially, Jameson Williams is going to be out. I think the only real prayer he has this week is that he gets a 2-touchdown game from Kelsey and Mahomes get back on track. Give us your view of Andy's path to a victory, and then give us your pick.
I don't know if there is one. I guess he gets the Cole Kmet, Tyler Algier freaking Hail Mary again. Did that work from a couple weeks ago, Pete, against you or something?
Oh, yeah, it did.
Beat me.
So it's going to be
100 yards against me.
Yeah, 2 guys out, 2 guys in. It's got to be Algier and Cole Kmet again because they're at the top of his roster. So they're probably the last 2 that he took out the last time he changed his starting lineup. No, Mike, you're my lock this week.
Thanks, Brian. Jeff, I haven't gotten your perspective on the chosen ones at all. It's surprising. Yeah. I think no one picked me to make the playoffs, including myself. Sitting at 6-1, the squad is both performing well, and I have 2 guys who haven't played with Nakua and Pacheco coming off IR. I think you got to look at it and feel pretty good. Give us your take on this.
Yeah, no. I think you got to feel great at where you are with what's happened with the team. I think if Nakua comes back, big late season bump. However, I think we were talking about somebody earlier that had they had a really low Spates had a really low floor. I think you're in a spot where you have a really high floor, right? High floor. You have a high floor and a low ceiling.
Ooh. I haven't boomed yet, so it's not the wrong take.
Yeah, so it's like you're going to score between 120 and 140 pretty much every week, and it's just a matter of what the guy does against you. I don't see you booming. I don't see a lot of upside unless T. Higgins goes nuts. I don't like Anthony Richardson. I am not a fan of watching him throw the football. I know you love him, but he is not good.
It's so on par.
Like,
they are a better team with Joe Flacco. Not that I care for fantasy, but
he doesn't get it.
Yeah,
he doesn't get it.
No,
he doesn't get it.
No.
Anthony Richardson is the lowest rated passer in the league. Joe Flacco is the highest rated passer in the league.
At one point, so I watched most of the games on Sunday, but we went to a corn maze, by the way, up case in Newtown. If you want to trip with the kids,
glad you got out.
Excellent time. Excellent time. But we went early, so we got there at 10. I was there for the beginning of the game. I watched the whole second half and the late games. I looked at my phone at one point, and Anthony Richardson, I'm not being sarcastic, was 5 of 19.
Why do they stick with him? Because he can run? Who cares?
I think they know their team. They're going to start Flacco and go 9-8, 8-9. Like, they need to see what they have with the guy. I think he has a good week this week. I think I boom this week, guys.
I like Andy because I think so. Hear me out. The Raiders were talking a bunch of trash about him and like impersonating him during the preseason. Ooh. I could just see him and Reed just being like, "We're emptying the bucket. You're going for 4 scores this week." He's the favorite or one of the favorites for the MVP still, and that's just because of like the action. It's just because they can't make his odds high because he's going to get action anyways. But I could see him going off.
Lamar be the favorite?
I'm saying Mahomes is like still like plus 250, which is really like low odds. I think Lamar is the favorite after last night or 2 nights ago, but Mahomes' odds are still really up there in the top 5. So I think this could be the week where he gets 60, 70 points out of Mahomes and Kelsey.
All right. I hope he does. I hope he shows up. I'm taking myself to boom. So I'm due for a big week. I think the other matchups we didn't mention in this one, Jimmy Cook against a rickety Seattle run defense. He's due. He gets the ball a bunch. And then that Philly-Cincinnati game, those defenses are not very good. I like having guys on both sides of that. T. Higgins out-targeting our friend Jamar Chase the last 3 weeks.
Mike, are we going to leave Chase Brown in? What's the deal there?
It depends. I don't know what's going to happen with ETN. If ETN's out, Bigsby's back in. I actually really like Chase Brown. Chase Brown had 18 touches.
I like him too. Yeah. They have to give him all the touches. He's way better than what's the guy? Exactly. Yeah, Sammy or whatever. Yeah.
I got a question for you guys. Do you think so? This Kelsey Mahomes stack hasn't hit at all. Do you think the first time it hits, it's going to be a 1 touchdown thing, or do you think it's going to be a multiple? And like, do you think
it's going to be big? Yeah.
How many are we thinking? Let's set the over under at 2.5. You go over.
Yeah.
I go under. Aren't they 6-0, 7-0? Like,
yes.
I don't know if they're yet going to push the gap. Jeff's right. If they'll do it against in Vegas because they talk trash. They're 7-0. Kelsey barely gets the ball.
They don't need to throw over the middle to him. Like, why get him injured? Why do this? Our defense is outstanding. And if we're in a close game, we're going to win because we have a better coach. We have a better quarterback. Like, It's pretty simple.
And they've got a bunch of running backs. I don't have to worry about those guys. If Hunt gets hurt, they don't care.
Give Hopkins some love just because then he can go off about how happy he is to be there and all that good stuff. So
Chiefs are
I think Mahomes is a week.
Chiefs are a great organization. They really know what they're doing. So
they're playing a different game than everybody else right now.
They really are.
They're playing the end. They're playing the end game. Everybody's trying to catch them.
They really are.
Yeah. Well, it helps when you got the guy behind center figured out for the next years.
No kidding. And a really good line you have to worry about.
Yeah.
Well, speaking about someone not yet playing for the end game, let's get the next game up. This is loser leaves town. Whoever loses this one's out. I will graciously say adios to the amigo that goes down. Breen Christian youth umpire battle with Chris Villani as a special guest referee. Pete, give us a preview.
Well, Breen is the number 7 seed. He's number 10 in scoring, dead last. It took a 54-point performance, but he passed Steve DeVito as the lowest scoring team. So congratulations, Breen. You're in the bucket. The Darian, number 9 seed, but he's number 8 in scoring. If you guys take a look, I really like the Darian's team because of Jalen Hurts. And Jalen Hurts right now, if you look at his roster for the upcoming weeks, he's got about 7 straight games where he's playing just straight cupcakes. And I'm talking like really, really like bottom 10 defenses. So I think it's going to be a game changer for Christian going forward. And it kind of already reared fruit last week, and I think it's going to do it again this week. Taylor, do different teams between Breen and Christian. Christian on his way up, Breen very much on his way down, and could jump very high in the standings with a win here. It is technically an upset, so I'm going to go with Christian in the upset.
This feels like we're going to sweep this. We talked a lot about Breen in game number 1. I think Christian's pretty clear. I'm taking him to lock and to upset. Someone go against that pick and tell me who's going to potentially ride with Breen.
I can't.
Breen hasn't been the same since Nico Collins got hurt.
It's crazy. One guy could affect him that much.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just, it's a lot of points. He was the leading scorer in our league, I think, for position player. So it's tough. You lose a guy like that. But yeah, Christian's got good matchups. His team's okay. Move on.
Is Allen healthy?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, he's fine.
Allen's
he's fine.
Where got that concussion and he sucks since.
Where does Darren move if ETN's out or if Pittman's out?
Kyle Pitts.
JP, baby, go with the Pitts. Yo, Pitts has not been bad for him. I mean, he's been bad.
You can't ridicule having a low floor and then say Kyle Pitts hasn't been bad.
Oh, he's horrible. Yeah,
horrible,
but his roster's not good. I mean, what do you want me to tell you? And Atlanta throws the ball. They're in every game. They're playing from behind. I don't know. I guess if Quentin Johnston's healthy, I'd play him.
You could put Rashad White in there too. Like no Godwin, no Evans.
They're running 3 running backs right now. I don't know.
Like a receiver. He's like a receiver. He'll get 5 catches.
And Johnson's not even going to be healthy either, and it's like he's got to make a decision here.
Case, are we sweeping this? Is it all to Darren?
Oh yeah, just a higher floor relatively. I mean, I would play Pitts because you're playing Breen, so take at least the targets. Any points is going to help you win this week.
I thought you were saying because he's the Pitts. But speaking of the Pitts, 10 seed DeLuca taking on his little brother, Brian Casey, 6 versus 10. So happy to have Jeff here. If it was just me and these two, this would be an insufferable 5 minutes. So, Pete, give us the preview.
No offense.
Really?
No offense.
Don't take it personal.
Nobody take offense here.
No offense, Brian.
I could make any of you interesting. I'll tell you right now. You're lucky, Mike. You're lucky I keep you around. First of all,
hey, I've been hosting this thing since episode 1, baby.
Somebody's got to introduce the talent. I can't do every job here, as Giselle Bündchen once said. So I mean,
hey, Eddie, just get on the baseline and shut up.
You can't catch the ball and pass it as well. I don't know what you wanted to do. All right. Casey's the 6th seed. He's number 5 in scoring. I'm the 10th seed. Don't look, though. I'm 6 in scoring. Right behind Brian Casey by just 3 measly points, Case. So you might look at the records and say, yeah, I got a tough draw, but I'm right there with points. If I had that cupcake record, I'd be right there with your bald head, too.
You got to say no offense before that.
No offense to any of this. This is all. So as you noticed, I already picked my upset. So I'm not gonna be going here. Big matchup I like here. Jordan Love against Jacksonville. First against quarterbacks, and Jordan Love. Sorry, Jordan Love has cooked, and I think he will continue to look exceptionally great. As somebody that I dropped and Casey picked up, good for him. Casey getting healthy. This is actually, maybe Casey can verify this, but probably the week he's been looking forward to the most. These guys are all coming back. His roster looks like it's in full speed. And I think he can safely look ahead to next week. I'm going to go ahead and pick Casey. So there you go. Congratulations, Case.
Jeff, we've got an interesting spot for both these guys. Pete can essentially just plug Hopkins in. I'm gonna guess they kind of fire at him a little bit, so he can play him.
Yeah.
Pete's issue is the DK injury if he doesn't play. Case has a big double negative, both 2 tight ends and 2 injured tight ends in his roster. So scores tell us Case is going to win easily. Can you see a position where Pete triumphs?
Absolutely. Maybe Jacksonville, they just needed a wake up. They needed that cakewalk against the Pats come to play. Love does sling the ball. I love watching him. He is so fun to watch. He's slinging, whether it's the other team or his own team. He's pretty awesome. I think the tight end thing could hurt. I mean, you got to figure Kittle's going to get a lot of balls, though. And I don't really care for Ingram, but he likes throwing to him, so whatever. I think for Pete, though, like Kyler Murray could go off again any given week. You have break off a 50-yard run. And then I think some of the other guys, Hopkins gets peppered. Metcalf, he needs to play. And then Mooney's due for another deep ball. So there could be some upside here. And I do like Trey McBride. He gets a lot of passes thrown to him. I like the double points for Pete as well.
There's a path to victory. It's just whether or not it all hits.
It's the slim one. Yeah.
The formula's there. It's just and the worst part is the last couple of weeks it's hit and I've still lost, and it's very frustrating. But yes.
The fact that you lost the last 2 weeks, Pete, it kind of puts you in a tough spot because you performed very well, and to not even go 1-1, it's tough.
Well, and lose his best skill player, right?
Yeah.
Like lose Godwin, who's having a hell of a year.
Yeah.
But my question would be for Case, because I was texting about this. Like, you get another bad week from Devontae Adams, and everybody's healthy. Mike Evans comes back. Like, you can't play him, right?
Ish. He slides down the board significantly.
All right. I that's the only hole I see. The tight end thing we talked about, but I don't think Adams is the player he was, or even close.
I think I told you this, Jeff. I still think that whole Adams-Rodgers thing, like, they're playing a different game than everybody else in that offense. Like he'll throw him the ball a million times. So that's all that really matters. I don't care if they win or lose, as long as he gets 8+ targets.
Okay, so you know what I just noticed? No offense, your bench sucks.
Yeah. You have nowhere to turn.
He said no offense.
Yeah, he said no offense. Yeah, no. Mike Evans being hurt the other night obviously impacts the bench a little bit. Otherwise, yeah, I don't have.
That's it. He's the only guy you have on the bench that you could confidently put in your roster if you had to.
I think I could make this work. Let me change my pick.
I'm interested in Mostert. What happens with him? 2 weeks ago when A-Chain was out, he got 18 touches. Last week, not so much. With Tua back, does he get back to last year's form? Like I'm holding on to that dude for a really long time. And then I'm super tight end heavy with my roster construction. If I just need a guy to go out there and get 15 points, like that's where those tight ends come into play.
I guess his best tight end is possibly coming back from injury. I don't mind Hawkinson for a week-to-week play.
I've had to pick him up and drop in the last 3 weeks because I haven't had a ton of flexibility, and he's still there, so he might be on here for good now.
I think there's better guys in the free agency market than TJ Hawkinson. I'll take you this.
I was never interested in Hawkinson. Like he never crossed my.
Me neither. He's like the lowest of low floor. I'd rather a bunch of us.
People understand that when you come back from injury, you don't hit the ground running unless you're Nick Chubb. But I mean, like it's a workup period there for a lot I don't know.
Pete, Case, I think you're aligned nicely for a win this week. Pete needs a low-scoring game tomorrow night. Getting Pete with a post-Godwin injury and I think DK is genuinely 50-50 to play. I think you got a pretty safe spot this week, Brian, with your team coming back healthy. I'll take you. I think we just swapped out.
Tomorrow night will tell a lot. If that's a flop between those two guys, then Pete's got a really good shot.
If DK goes down, who should I replace him with? I'm definitely not going to do Deontay Johnson because he's getting the Patrick Surtain.
I wouldn't go Deontay Johnson against Denver.
I'd
probably go Madison, dude.
I got Robinson at Pittsburgh. That looks terrible.
I saw you picked up Judy. You picked up Judy again today. You love that guy, dude.
I might play Wandale now that Neighbors is back. Just like he gets all those checkdowns, you might get 15 points on catches.
I take Madison.
I really like Judy, number 1 wide receiver with Jameis Winston.
No, Pete.
I'm not going to tell you how to beat me.
Talk about exciting quarterbacks. Jameis is back.
Pete, don't do it. Pete, don't put Judy. If you put Judy, it's definitely not picking you.
I love it. Put Judy in.
Honestly, that's the recipe for the rest of the year. I'm just gonna play. I'm just gonna roll the dice. I don't even know my number 1 pick, so I don't care. I'm just gonna try to play for the boom and just try to get.
Your pick?
I don't know. I traded it probably 5 years ago, Mike. Probably Breed if I had.
Probably.
Yeah. But we're just gonna roll the dice with some insane plays. So don't fail. Don't be upset with me if I score 54 points like Kevin Breen.
You'll beat Kevin. All right, I don't have a joke. You guys yelled at me. My joke bit wasn't any good. So I think that's it. We've gone over an hour, gang. So, Jeff, great to have you here. Brian, thanks for joining us for half of that. My numero uno. No offense. I missed you, buddy.
Yeah, you too.
See you guys.
Good luck this week, everyone.